This is the story of how I met my biological dad. Back around, I was living in North Hollywood on Whipple Street, and I got, I'd been curious about, my dad because I never met him. Actually, I did meet him, but I was a little tiny baby when so I don't remember, didn't remember him. So anyway, so there was some kind of service. This was like 1996 was I believe the year, and it was North Hollywood, and there was like, this is before the internet really. You could search for anything like this. But there was services you could join, you could sign up for and pay, and they could find people for you, it's like they do searches for somebody. Now his name is somewhat common, it's Thomas Evans. But I knew about when he was born. It's like I may have had actually the year he was born or something. But so I, gave them that information, this service information, and, because I thought about it for a long time before I did it, so when I got the results back, got some results back, they sent me, a list. It's like somewhere I may have that paperwork still, but they sent me pages of Thomas Evans that were born within a certain certain year, age range, like probably like a 5 year period of, that 19, like late, mid to late 1920s, so there's all these Thomas Evans, and I sat on the paperwork for a while. I didn't, it's like oh god, it's like it's too much and stuff. But one morning I got up like it was like a Saturday or Sunday morning, and I said, so I got to do this. And like I think I got to just call a couple of them or something. And I looked at them. It's like it had where they lived and everything. And I knew it's like we were basically from Coldwater, Michigan. The family was and Kalamazoo was close by and stuff. And there was a Thomas Evans in Kalamazoo, Michigan. And so it's like, so I picked up the phone and I called that one, and the first one I called, it was him. So it's like I said, I told him my name, and I said, it's like, this is your daughter. It's like, and he was like silent for a while. He was in shock, and then we started talking. I don't remember exactly everything we talked about and everything, but it turned out he was coming out west for something. He's going to be out here. He was going to. He started a Tortuga reunion, which is the ship he was on in the Korean War during the Korean War. And so he started this association, some years ago earlier. And so they had reunions every year in different parts of the country. And that time it was going to be in I think it's Colorado Springs, but anyway, it's Colorado. So he was coming out, east, out west, and it's like, and he was gonna be driving. I think he drove his car out. He was gonna drive his car out there. So what he decided to do is like come earlier, and he drove to California. And he, it's like I said, it was, I remember distinctly him walking up, they parked the car, it's like, and later on they said it's like he was kind of like having like a little, like panic attack and stuff, meeting me and stuff. So, and so he like, didn't come up, he parked somewhere else, and it's like he had to calm down, and then he pulled up and parked, and he and his wife Barbara, second wife Barbara, came, it's like came up to the gate and stuff, and came in and stuff, and it's like, I think my boyfriend Terry at the time, Terry Jacobs, he said something about we walked the same, we had like the same gait, so, and it's like you could definitely tell, there's no denying the fact that I was his daughter, because I look just like an Evans in his side of the family. I look just like them, and it's like I look more like them than actually his, no offense to the other kids, but the other kids and stuff, because I think his other kids that he had later were like more of a mix between the two of them, but there's no mistaking I was an Evans. So anyway, we came in, it's like, and we had a good time. We, when he was here, he was here for, in California for a few days, and in the valley and stuff. And so we actually let them stay at our place, Terry and I, let them stay at our place. And we, you know, it's like we slept on, I guess, the floor or the sofa or something. We gave him our bed and stuff, so he had someplace comfortable. And we've got a fight going on between a cat and a dog down here. And so, so anyway, so it stayed for a few days, and then you know, the whole thing was just like I took time off of work. I was working at Beyond Shelter at the time, down in a nonprofit I was working at. I was a finance director, so I took like something like a week and a half off or something like that. Anyway, we ended up a couple days later. We drove to his reunion in Colorado, and we had a really good time there. We got to see you know, some interesting places and stuff. And is Pikes Peak there? It's like, it seems to me like Pikes Peak. We went up this tram thing to Pikes Peak and got to meet some of his fellow Navy people, you know, on the ship that he was on the ship, the Tortuga. And I actually am still friends with a guy named Skip Wees. I've kept in touch with him all these years. I got to meet him, and then we drove back. And I actually did almost all the driving. I did about 90% of the driving, which you know, I actually liked doing that because it kept me busy doing something, because it's such a long drive, not only there but also all the way back. And then we went back to Kalamazoo, and then I was there for, I don't know, a few days, several days, and I got to meet the family. Some people I didn't hardly get to see at all. He had 5 kids after, when he got remarried. He had 5 more kids, so he had 7 total, because there was my brother, the oldest, and then me. And then when he got remarried, it's like he had a kid like right away, because my sister is like, you know, born like 10 months after me or something like that. I think she was born late in the same year. Anyway, so so it was Donna, and then one daughter, and then 4 sons after that. So he had a total of 5 kids with her, and I got to meet them, and I did get to hang out with a couple of the siblings, mostly Donna, and then one of the brothers I hung out with too, and then. You know, it's like, then, you know, I just, you know, then I came back. It's like I flew out of Chicago. That was the closest airport. It was closer than Detroit. So we drove down to Chicago, and then I left and went back home. So that was basically that's story. And it's like, and I've kept in touch with them, but I've lost touch with them some years ago. I lost touch with, you know, I used to keep in touch with like Donna, and then the one son, his wife and stuff. She used to write me, and it's like, unfortunately, it's like we stopped writing each other, and I think it was probably my fault. And that's a picture of them. And my bio dad died a few years. You know, he died like as of this taping, I think at least 10 years ago. And I'm not sure when she passed away, but it's my understanding she's also passed away. This thing says Ma and Pa Kittle and Youngins. It says John, Larry, I guess they're at the top, and then Ma, Pa, Donna, Rick, and Bob. So that's them. And then, and it's like, and then he wrote me a little note. This is something, you know, would send me letters. I've got a few letters and stuff from him. Hi, Susie, hope you're doing well. This is dated December 9th, 2004. Hope this card finds you well. I'm doing good, considering all my latest checkup with the doc came out just fine. Even cut me back on some of the medication I've been taking. As usual, family will be gathering here Christmas Day. We will all be, I think this is a misprint or something. We will all be thinking of you. With love, Dad. Yeah, that's the card, you know. So he did send me a few things here and there. It's like I found some of them recently. So anyway, I just wanted to tell that story about how we found each other.